I never thought I'd wake up in my father's skin, his liver-spotted hands flexing like they owned the world, because they damn near did. But that Christmas Eve, as my own body shivered in the garage snowdrift they'd shoved it into, I realized the ultimate betrayal. They'd buried me alive in his corpse of a life, while plotting to erase me forever. And now, with his voice in my throat, I was going to burn their empire down from the inside, one whispered confession at a time. The swap happened 6 months earlier, in the sterile hum of that black market clinic in Reno. I'd gone there chasing ghosts, my father's accident that left him comatose, my brother Harlan's smug grin at the funeral we never had. What they didn't know was that I'd uncovered the truth. Harlan had dosed Dad with fentanyl scotch, staging it as a fall down the stairs to inherit the Hawthorne estate. The family shipping fortune, the mansions from Boston to Palm Beach, all of it. But I'd taken the fall before, 2 years ago. When Harlan's insider trading scam blew up, I'd confessed to it in a haze of pills they slipped me, thinking loyalty would buy me a seat at the table. Instead, it bought me disinheritance and a rap sheet. Desperate, I'd scraped together cash from odd jobs, bartending in dive bars, ghostwriting exec apologies, and found Dr. Elias Crow. A disgraced neurotech was peddling consciousness transfers to the ultra-rich dodging death. It's not magic, he rasped through his oxygen mask. Just quantum entanglement of neural patterns. Your mind in his body. His in yours. Reversible. If you pay extra. I signed the waiver with Raven Hawthorne's trembling hand, the one they'd called the family curse since Mom OD'd when I was 10. Dad's body was hooked to machines in a private wing of Mass General. Brainwaves flat but salvageable. Harlan thought he was pulling plugs next week. The procedure felt like drowning in static. One moment, I was strapped to the gurney, smelling antiseptic and regret. The next, I gasped awake in a hospital bed, staring at a hairy chest under a monogrammed gown. His hands. Coarse. Veined. The knuckles scarred from decades of boardroom brawls. I touched my face. Felt the sagging jowls. The liver spots. Mirror confirmed it. Elias Hawthorne, 68. Patriarch of Hawthorne Logistics. Stared back with my dark eyes. Wait. No. My eyes were brown. These were steel gray. But the thoughts? Mine. Sharp. Vengeful. Screaming raven inside the skull. Nurses bustled in, calling me Mr. Hawthorne. I played along, voice gravelly and commanding, barking orders like I'd watched him do 1,000 times at holiday dinners. Get Harlan on the line. Now. They obeyed. My brother, our brother, picked up, voice oily as ever. Dad, you're awake? Holy shit. The doc said. I cut him off. Family meeting. Christmas Eve. The estate. Don't be late. He chuckled, assuming senility. Sure. Pop. We'll toast to your miracle. Discharge was a blur. Private jet back to the Hawthorne compound in Greenwich, Connecticut, 50 acres of manicured lawns. The main house a Tudor behemoth with enough rooms to lose a soul in. I'd grown up there. The overlooked middle child between Harlan's golden boy shine and sister's viper tongue. Lydia. They treated me like the help after the confession. Raven's unstable. Elias. Best keep her downstairs. Downstairs meaning the servants' quarters. Then the garage when Dad's health scare turned permanent. But I was Elias now. Or close enough. The real Elias? His mind flickered in my old body. Sedated in a psych ward under Raven's name. Harlan's doing. shipping me off as a suicide risk. Irony tasted like bile. I had 2 days to settle in before Christmas. To map the body, the arthritis in the knees, the erectile dysfunction they joked about, not funny now. The power.
God.
The power. Phone calls moved mountains, accountants, lawyers, the board. I reviewed the will in the study, leather-bound and notarized. Harlan got 60%, Lydia 30%. Scraps for cousins.
Me?
Nothing. But buried in the codicil, a secret clause: if Elias deemed any heir unfit, the estate reverted to a trust under my, Raven's, name. Proof of unfitness? A signed affidavit from the grantor himself. That was my hook. I just needed to make them confess. Christmas Eve dawned brittle, the kind of New England cold that cracks lips and tempers. Snow fell in fat, relentless flakes, blanketing the estate like a shroud. The family arrived in a convoy of Escalades, Harlan first, his trophy wife Tessa on his arm, kids in monogrammed scarves. Lydia next, Botox fresh from LA, trailing her agent husband like a lapdog. Cousins trickled in, aunts with Botox smiles. They gathered in the grand hall, fire roaring in the marble hearth. Stockings hung ironic and empty. Garland dripped from chandeliers. Bing Crosby crooning betrayal on hidden speakers. I descended the stairs in Dad's cashmere sweater, cane thumping authority. Elias, Harlan boomed, clapping my back too hard. You old bastard. Cheating death again. Hugs followed. Perfumed and probing, Lydia's lingered, her eyes flicking to the safe behind the desk. They thought me frail, forgetful.
Perfect.
Dinner was roast goose and tension, silverware clinking like accusations. Talk skirted the swap me, the real me, banished last year after relapsing. Poor Raven, Tessa cooed, passing potatoes. In that state hospital now, such a tragedy. Harlan snorted. Tragedy? She brought it on herself. Remember the trading scandal?
Dad.
You were too soft letting her off with just atonement. I gripped the fork, knuckles white, Dad's knuckles. Soft. My voice rumbled low. Testing. Tell me, son, what really happened that night? Harlan's laugh died. Lydia shot him a look. Dad, you remember. Raven forged the trades. Greedy little. Enough. I slammed the cane. Glasses rattled. The room froze. Kids wide-eyed. I've been thinking. About the will. About secrets. Whispers rippled. Harlan leaned in, eyes narrowing. What secrets?
Pop?
You're rambling. That night, after eggnog and excuses, they slipped away to the library, thinking me asleep. I watched from the shadows, body aching but mind electric. Harlan poured scotch, voice dropping. The old man's fading fast. We pulled a plug New Year's. Estate's ours. Lydia, your cut buys that Malibu flip. But Raven. If she ever surfaces from the loony bin. Lydia hissed. She won't. The overdose we staged, cops ruled it attempt. She's vegetative.
Harlan.
Just like we planned after she sniffed your trades. My blood, Dad's blood, boiled. Vegetative. That's what they called the swap side effect. Elias's mind trapped. Catatonic in my shell. They'd tried to kill me twice. Once with blame. Once with pills.
Now.
This body was my weapon. Midnight Mass on TV droned carols as I limped to the garage. There she was, my body,
Or what was left.
strapped to a gurney in the freezing dark. For drip from a stolen hospital kit. Monitors beeping faint vitals. Harlan's humane solution. Keep Raven alive but out of sight. A vegetable in the cold to avoid murder charges. Snow whistled through the cracked door, frosting her lashes. Elias's eyes, my eyes, fluttered under lids. Trapped screams I couldn't hear. I knelt, breath clouding, and whispered, "It's me, Raven. We're getting out." No response. But in the mirror of her pupil, I saw my reflection, a monster in a father's skin. Controversial? Hell. This was blasphemy, playing God with souls. But betrayal cuts deeper than ethics. Back inside, I hacked the security cams on Dad's laptop, passwords unchanged since '09. Footage from 2 years ago. Harlan at the trading terminal. Lydia deleting logs. Me stumbling and drugged. Signing the confession.
Proof.
I drafted the affidavit, forging Dad's scrawl with practiced ease from years of watching him sign checks. Harlan and Lydia unfit. Fraud. Attempted fratricide. Timestamped. Notarized via a late-night lawyer call. Powers perks. Christmas morning broke with screams. The family piled into breakfast, mimosas flowing, when I wheeled in the gurney. "Merry Christmas," I growled, flipping the sheet. My face, pale and slack, stared up. Gasps. Tessa retched into a napkin. Kids wailed. Elias. What the fuck? Harlan lunged, but I raised the tablet, footage playing on loop. His face on screen.
Guilty as sin.
"You kept her here? In the garage? Like trash." Lydia paled.
Dad. It's mercy.
She tried to kill herself. After the trades. Lies. I hit play on the audio recorder I'd planted. Their library confession. Clear as a bell. Overdose we staged. Vegetative. The room erupted. Cousins bolted for doors. Aunts dialed 911. Harlan charged, fists flying. "You crazy old prick." I sidestepped, Raven's reflexes in Dad's frame, and he crashed into the tree, ornaments shattering like their facade. "I'm not your father," I spat, voice cracking. "Not anymore." The twist hit like a gut punch. As cops swarmed, called by me, anonymously, Harlan lunged for the gurney, syringe glinting. "If I can't have it, no one will," he jabbed. But Lydia tackled him, her own betrayal, saving Raven to flip on him for immunity. Chaos, cuffs, screams, snow-muffled sirens. In the ER. Reversal underway. Crow's tech. Rushed via private flight. Needles pricked. Static rose. I clung to Dad's hand, Real Elias surfacing in my old body. Eyes locking. "Forgive." The claws, he wheezed.
The trust.
He'd known. Suspected Harlan. Planted the reversion for me. A father's secret gift, buried under years of neglect. We swapped back as dawn bled red over the estate. I woke in my skin, frail but free. Harlan and Lydia in orange jumpsuits on the news. The lawyers confirmed, estate mine. But victory tasted ash. Dad, real Dad, lingered in coma, his mind frayed from the transfer. Was it worth it, playing puppet master, dooming siblings to cells? The family splintered, cousins suing for shares. Headlines screaming, Hawthorne body swap whore.
Now.
Christmas lights flicker on the manor, mine, but empty. I sit in the study, affidavit curled in fist.
Happy ending?
Or just another cage?
You tell me.
The reversal left scars deeper than skin. Waking in my own body felt like surfacing from tar, limbs numb. Voice a rasp from disuse. Nurses hovered.
Calling me is
Hawthorne, but the name echoed hollow. I'd spent 6 months as dad, commanding empires with his growl.
But now?
I was Raven again. The black sheep, 32 and broken, staring at 4 tubes like accusations. The estate loomed outside the window. A gilded prison I'd inherited amid scandal. Cops grilled me first. Body swap? That's some sci-fi bullshit. Hawthorne. Detective Ruiz. A no-nonsense Latina with a Mets cap under her badge. Paced the room. Harlan and Lydia were in holding, fratricide attempt. Conspiracy. The works, but the swap? Crow had vanished. Clinic torched in a gas leak. My word against ghosts. Look, I croaked. Throat raw. Check the footage.
The garage.
My confession. They did. By noon. Charges stuck. Elder abuse for the gurney stunt. Fraud for the trades. Harlan lawyered up with the family retainer. Ironic. Since I controlled it now. Lydia flipped faster than a politician. Spilling on his insider deals dating back to Enron days. He made me, she sobbed on CNN. Mascara Rivers. Raven was collateral. Collateral. That's what I'd always been. Mom's death? Raven found her. Poor thing, trauma. My confession? Raven's weak. Takes the heat. Even Dad's accident, they'd whisper it was my instability, pushing him to drink. Lies layered like the estate's onion skin wallpaper. Discharge hit on New Year's Eve. The compound was a circus. Press vans crunching gravel. Cousins picketing with signs. Ravens stole Christmas.
No.
They stole everything else. I rolled up in a town car, my town car now, flanked by new security. Ex-Marine's dad trusted. The house smelled of pine and panic. Staff tiptoeing like I'd bite. Mrs. Greeley, the cook who'd slipped me extra pie as a kid, hugged me fierce. Miss Raven. It's a miracle. Miracle or monstrosity. I toured the halls. Cane in hand, my legs wobbled from atrophy. The library where they'd plotted. Bookshelves mocking with leather spines. Upstairs. Dad's suite. Monitors silent now. Bed stripped. He'd flatlined during reversal. Mind too fractured. The obituary ran small. Elias Hawthorne. Shipping Titan. Passes peacefully. Peaceful? After trapping his soul in my junky shell? Harlan's call came from Rikers Collect. Voice tinny. You bitch. This your revenge? Swapping bodies like some Frankenstein whore. Laughter edged hysteria. Dad knew, didn't he? The claws. He played us all. I gripped the receiver. Knuckles, my own, bruising white. He played you. For me. Silence. Then a snarl. You'll rot alone. Raven. Family's done.
Was it?
Tessa visited next day. Kids in tow, wide-eyed cherubs with Harlan's jaw. Aunt Raven, she pleaded, blonde and Botoxed. The boys need stability. The estate. It's their birthright. Birthright. I laughed. Bitter. Like you needed my silence on the trades? Or the garage freeze out. Her eyes darted guilt? Calculation? We were protecting the legacy. Harlan said. Harlan lied. Always. I signed a check. Tuition. Trust funds. Small mercies. But the house? Off limits. Tell your husband. Appeal denied. She left teary. But I caught the glare. Seeds of war. Winter dragged. Snow piling like debts. I hired a PI, ex-Fed, grizzled, named Kowalski, to dig. Turns out, the swap wasn't Crow's only game. Dad had funded him years back. Off books. For immortality research. Emails surfaced. Elias to Crow. Test on Raven if needed. She's expendable. Expendable. My own father. Hedging bets on heirs. The clause? Not love, a contingency for his favorite pawn. Rage simmered. Dark and delicious. Controversial? Hell. I toyed with going public. Tycoons swapped daughter's soul for empire control, but no. Revenge needed teeth. I called the board. Hawthorne Logistics. $2 billion revenue. Meeting tomorrow. Full audit. Panic rippled. Harlan's cronies, VPs he'd golfed into power, squirmed in the oak-paneled conference room. MS. Hawthorne, one stammered. Ty Askew.
Your.
Expertise? Elias handled operations. I leaned forward. Raven's sharp eyes in Raven's face. Elias is dead. I'm CEO. And I know about the shell companies. Funnel funds to Harlan's Cayman accounts.
Gasps.
Kowalski's dossier hit the table. Ledgers. Wire transfers. Clean house. Or I do. By week's end. 3 resignations. SEC notified. Headline shifted. Heiress Raven Hawthorne cleans house in Hawthorne scandal. Empowering? Or purge? Protests grew. Unions claiming I gutted jobs for spite.
Fair?
Harlan's greed started it. But my axe fell hard. Lydia's trial was the real circus. Spring thaw brought her arraignment in federal court. Manhattan, me testifying in a pantsuit that had atrophied arms. She stared daggers from the dock. One sister now specter in orange. Raven, she whispered during recess. Chains rattling. You swapped us out. Monster. I met her gaze. You froze me in a garage. On Christmas. Her laugh cracked. For the family. Dad's empire. Was never yours. On stand. I played the tapes. Described the gurney cold. The swap's vertigo. Jury gasped at the science fiction, but forensics backed neural anomalies in our MRIs. Crow testified, via video. Extradited from Mexico. Experimental. Irreversible damage to Mr. Hawthorne. Damage. Dad's ghost. Verdict. Guilty. 20 years. Harlan got life, murder 1. The fentanyl. As gavel fell, Lydia lunged, screaming. She deserved it. The junkie.
Junkie.
The word stung. Old wound. I'd cleaned up post-confession. NA meetings in church basements. But the label stuck. Was she right? Had I courted chaos? Making myself easy prey? Summer brought heat and hauntings. The estate felt cursed. Pipes burst. Lights flickered like Dad's ghost tapping Morse. I dreamed the swap nightly, his hands on my throat.
My screams in his baritone.
Therapy? A Park Avenue shrink prescribed pills I flushed.
No.
I channeled it. Revamped the company. Green shipping. Women execs. Raven's Renaissance. Forbes called it. But at night, Alone in the master suite. Doubt nod. The cousins sued, claiming the trust invalid. Undue influence via body theft. Judge laughed it out. But appeals loomed. Tessa's next move was sly. Custody bid for the boys. Painting me unfit aunt with tabloid fodder, swap rumors. My instability. I countered with a visit. Ice cream at Serendipity. Stories of Grandpa Elias's pirate tales. He loved you, I lied. The judge ruled joint, but her eyes said war. Fall leaves turned blood red as twist unraveled. Kowalski called. Crow's files. Your dad. He initiated the swap. Not for you, for himself. Trapped her mind to puppet the body. Expose Harlan slow. Proof. Logs showing Elias's consciousness directing post-swap actions. My memories? Fabricated? Or did he hijack? Using me as Trojan horse? Rage flipped to nausea. Betrayed by the grave. Dad hadn't saved me. He'd used me, the expendable daughter, to torch his rotten kids. The claws? Bait for my fury. I confronted the mirror. Raven's face gaunt. Controversial decision. Burn it all? Donate the estate? Walk away? Or double down? Become the monster they made? Autumn's chill seeped into bones as I pored over Crow's decrypted drive, USB stick smuggled from his hideout. Kowalski's last gift before retiring to Florida. Files cascaded. Neural maps. Timestamps. Dad's mind hadn't faded. It steered. Post-swap emails. Sent under his login. Proceed with audit. Raven's instincts sharp. Instincts? I'd thought the vengeful plot's mine, but logs showed overrides subtle nudges, like ghosts in the machine. He'd played me like a fiddle, the ultimate patriarch, sacrificing his soul shell to purge the rot from afar. Betrayal's layers peeled endless. I'd borne the trading fall for Harlan. Yes, but Dad? He'd known. Coached Lydia to drug me for the confession. Family first, his emails read. Raven's the lightning rod.
Absorbs the strike.
Lightning rod. Not daughter.
Pawn.
I hurled the drive at the study wall. Glass cracking like sanity. The estate, mine now. Per the trust, mocked from every corner. Harlan's yacht in the boathouse. Lydia's couture in closets. Sell?
No.
Revenge needed intimacy. First target, the board. I'd cleaned house. But stragglers lurked, Harlan's old guard. Embedded like ticks. November meeting. Fog rolling off Long Island Sound. I arrived in leather, Raven's Edge. Not Dad's tweed. Gentleman and Elena, nodding to the lone woman VP. We're divesting. All Harlan-era assets. Liquidate the Caymans. Murmurs rose. Old Tom Riley. Paunchy and loyal. Blustered. MS. Hawthorne. That's billions. Jobs lost. Partners ruined. Ruined. I slid dossiers across mahogany. Like they ruined me? Embezzlement trails.
Tom.
Your signature on half. His face purpled. Stroke territory. Elena smirked. First ally. By adjournment. Resignations flowed. Controversial? Unions picketed headquarters. Chance of Raven raids on TikTok. Fair? They'd profited from blood money. Press hounded. Is Eris avenging or annihilating? I dodged. But Tessa cornered me at a gala. Met steps. Flashbulbs popping. You're destroying us. Raven. The boys ask for Uncle Harlan. I sipped champagne. Bubbles biting. Tell them Uncle's a thief. An aunt? Accomplice. Her slap echoed, cheek sting. Crowd gasp. Security pulled her. But headline spun. Heiress assaulted by nephew's mom. Sympathy surged. Stocks dipped then rebounded on strong leadership. Winter solstice brought the Real storm. Dad's wake, private. Estate chapel. Snow-lashed windows. Cousins attended. Vultures in black. Whispering probate challenges. I stood at podium. Eulogy scripted but gutted. Elias Hawthorne built an empire on secrets. Betrayals buried like bodies in basements.
Gasps.
He swapped my life for his legacy, literally. And in the end, it devoured him. Silence. Then exodus. Only misses. Greeley stayed. Hand on mine. He loved you. Twisted as it was. Love or control. That night. Alone with the gurney, scrapped but haunting, I hallucinated. Dad's voice in vents. Finish it.
Girl.
Finish what? The empire hummed. Green initiatives blooming, solar freighters. Women mentors. Raven's redemption. Time profiled. But doubts festered. Was this mine? Or his echo? Twist's shadow loomed in December. Anonymous email. Ask Crow about the backup. Kowalski. Unretired. Tracked Crow to a Baja clinic, another swap den. I flew private. Desert wind whipping as we breached. Guns drawn. Tech humming. Crow. Gaunt in scrubs.
Laughed.
Raven. Or Elias. The transfer left echoes. Hybrid minds. He showed scans, my brainwaves laced with Dad's patterns. Irreversible merge. He didn't override. You absorbed. The vengeful one? Both. Horror choked. I'd thought revenge mine. But Dad's ghost fueled it, his cunning. My fire. The backup. I pressed. Gun steady. His consciousness.
Cloned.
In a server. Waiting activation. Location. Estate safe. Behind the will. Back home. Christmas lights up again, ironic glow. I cracked the safe. Hard drive humming. Dad's face on boot screen. Raven. If you're seeing this, the purge worked. Activate me, co-CEO. We finished together. Temptation clawed. Power doubled. Empire eternal. But controversial. Resurrect the dead? Become Frankenstein's bride? I smashed it. Shards flying. No more puppets. Sirens wailed. Bomb threat hoax. But heart raced. Alone? Free? New Year dawned fragile. Resolutions mocking from calendars. The estate. Mine in ink but haunted in spirit. Creaked under January gales. I'd smashed Dad's backup. Shards swept like sins. But echoes lingered, his baritone in dreams. Nudging audits. Firings. Hybrid mind? Crow's lie. Or truth. Therapy beckoned. But I chose Kowalski. Bourbon in the den. Stories swapped. You're the boss now.
Kid.
Don't let ghosts drive.
Boss.
The word chafed. February board votes crown me permanent CEO. But leaks sprang. Raven's rampage, laying off legends. Riley stroke? Blamed on me. Lawsuit pending. Unions marched. Signs reading body snatcher burns workers. Fair? Harlan's fraud starved pensions. My cuts funded them anew. But optics? Blood on my hands. Tessa escalated. Full custody suit. Affidavits from witnesses. Paid. Kowalski sniffed, to my instability. Swap rumors fueled it. Tabloids digging. Eris's Halloween horror. Did she kill Dad for fortune? I countered public. Presser in the rose garden. Snow melting to mud. Yes.
I swapped bodies.
To survive. My family tried to bury me, literally, in that garage.
Now,
I'm building, not breaking. Clips went viral. Raven revenge trending. Supporters flooded. Women demanding solidarity. Ex-employees thanking severance. But trolls howled freak show. Lock her up. Controversial? I leaned in, tweeting back. If exposing lies makes me a freak, sign me up. Who's next? Spring bloomed thorns. Lydia's appeal denied. But prison letters arrived, scrawled, please, sister.
forgive.
Harlan forced it. Visit? I did. Upstate gray. Plexiglass between. Her face. Gaunt sans fillers.
Cracked.
The garage. I hated it. But Dad, he whispered to me too. Test Raven. He planned us all. Echoes again. The overdose? Dad's idea. Toughen you. Laughter bitter. We were his lab rats. I left numb. Signing her commissary. Mercy or manipulation? Harlan's visits? Denied. His last call, hybrid bitch. Dad's and you. Puppeteering. You'll fail. Fail how? Empire thrived. Q2 profit soared. Green ships stuck in global. But personal? Barren. Dates ghosted post headlines. Friends scattered like confetti. Misses. Greeley mothered. Baking pies.
But nights?
Whiskey solos. Staring at the garage, now guest suite. But ghosts chilled it. Climax brewed in June heat. Cousins class action. Trust invalid. Body theft undue influence. Trial in Hartford. Judge stern. My stand. They banished me Christmas night. Body and soul. Dad's clause? Justice. Exhibits. Footage. Tapes. Crow's testimony. Extradited. Shackled. Merge confirmed. But agency? Hers. Harlan testified, remote. Orange glow. Lies. She seduced Crow. Stole Dad's shell. Jury murmured. Tessa's cross. Boys' photos.
Teary.
Aunt Raven unstable. Twist dropped like anvil. Kowalski's evidence bag. Unsealed. Dad's journal. Hidden in safe. Raven's the heir. Strongest soul. Swap to prove. Not pawn. Chosen. He'd staged frailties. Dosed himself to coma. Betting I'd rise in his skin. Harlan's crimes? Bait to trigger. Love her fierce. Last entry. Hybrid?
Gift.
Not curse. Court gasped. Cousins folded. Settlement crumbs. Verdict. Trust upheld. I won, legacy mine. Untainted. But victory's pyre burned hot. Dad loved? Twisted. Yes, American dream. Survival of fittest. Controversial. Celebrate the puppeteer? Or curse the cage? Summer faded to fall. Estate harvest gold. I hosted first family fate. Neutral ground. Tessa came. Boys shy hugging. Aunt Raven rules. Little Harlan echoed. Laughter real. Yet, as leaves fell, doubt rooted. Ending happy? Empire green. Jailbirds judged. Ghosts merged to wisdom. Or tragic. Alone atop ruins. Dad's echo whispering more. Readers debate. Hero or horror? I choose forward. Christmas approaches. Lights up. No gurney. Garage warms with guests. Raven Hawthorne, body whole, soul scarred. Toasts to secrets unearthed. And revenge. Refined.